have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There is no 5K. There's no, I'm going to get into school to be this or that. And still perform to the highest level. Because if you don't get it, is one day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing out purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us. Because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL, in college, whatever. But the main purpose of life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to do research is, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I can need. So the reason I give every day, there's no race, there's no school, there's nothing for me, is because I have pride in myself. I was born David Goggins. David Goggins wasn't good enough. He was a scared, bullied, abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, when something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I was, whenever something got tough for me, David Goggins, the real David Goggins, came out and he would quit. So I realized this over a period of time. So I had to build Goggins. And in that process, that's where I get better. I get better when I'm digging holes in the ground, when I'm waking up early knowing I don't have to do these things. That's where I get better.
So it's important to stay hungry.
It's important to stay hungry. It's important more to stay hungry within that hunger. So while you're hungry, all people are hungry, but humility is everything.
What was that story about winning Crystal to janitor?
Yeah. So this guy won the Medal of Honor. So he won the Medal of Honor, and which is the highest award in the world. And this guy went to the Air Force Academy, and he was a janitor. And no one knew who this man was. He had the highest award in all the military for heroics. For heroics, saving lives, put his life on line. Could have been killed. And he is now basically, cleaning streets for young kids. And we can all imagine how that might be. There might be some, little bit of quarantine here and there. And he's that thing clean the street. So that's why he's in my trained humility part. Because this man would be at the level he was. He had that kind of humility to go, oh no, water winner, but I'm gonna put that in my closet. I'm gonna pick up my broom and dustpan. And I'll pick up, this rag and clean the streets for these young men. That right there is amazing for me, man. That's where you grow. That's growth. Huge growth. Y'all just he was doing it. He was a servant. He didn't look at himself any better than anybody else. The second you do that, you totally lost. You cannot look at yourself like people with me. I always look at people. I know where you are. I know where you are. I've been there. That's why I help so many people out. I've never been above you.
Nice.
I've always pretty much been beneath you, and that's my knowledge came from. So I know how to reach those people who are in the dungeon. Because I've been there so many times. You have to be your best self and your least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all this. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind where you want to go and know that motivation is there. I'm not going to always be motivated.
Jocko said the exact same thing. He said that discipline needs motivation for a reason.
And discipline's good too. But without a clear headspace, there's no discipline. So, let's say you're a servant. Okay? And I'm loading everything up. Just loading up. It's going to fucking blow. And once that thing blows, man, it's just off the up. You gotta have these things right foods. Because maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your job. And it's all just stuffed in your fucking brain. You don't have it compartmentalized, organized in these nice shelves. A lot of people whose brain, everybody knows, you look, they're going through total off stuff. So we're not going to put discipline in that mind if I can't find other shit. You got to be able to find all these different things in your mind. Oh, I can put discipline right there. If your mind is not organized and your life needs everything around you, because it takes one little piece of outside interference to put in your home. Your mind has to always be clean. I meditate 2 hours every single night because I reorganize the garage, which is my mind, every night. So then discipline's in there, organization, everything is in there. I'm waking up and giving myself all this armor. So when I come out in the world, I'm ready. I'm not waking up late.
You don't need that boy here, like.
That's why I said there was like making noise.
Well, yeah.
Only now because we're doing that shit together.
I'm going hard.
You have to have the truth to have a starting point. And the truth that is found in that very uncomfortable zone. We all look for toughness. We all want looking for in a comfortable life. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment. Those of you who are listening to this, you will not find it. Your way to find it is to drown yourself in a position where you're just out of sorts. Where you can't swim and you're drowning. You're drowning. And you say, look, man, once you come face to face with who you are, you will start point. It's in our head to say, look, man, dude, you're not doing shit. You're wasting a bunch of percentage here. In this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, a self-doubt, darkness. And what's the light? But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit. You're not succeeding. You're not achieving. It's your brain going that dark place to find yourself. You're setting goals you really can reach. And when you do that, that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, that's where you go. You must always set goals. And you feel you cannot achieve. And let me hear you get better. And that why I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. And you say, this is what we need. This is what we need now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, how many times you're going to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough? And once you do this over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to. So if you really want it, you realize what trying is and what trying is not. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that shit we have nowadays, your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life shit. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in a day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain, and your brain controls you, you gotta know your brain where you want to go and how you want to get there. You gotta control it. with these guys. It's not no, walk my boys off, and go back. I can't read right, but going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. It's okay. We're going to adapt and overcome now. That was my mindset. That's how you get through things. You put yourself, you immerse yourself wherever it is, you become that. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. I watched this segment on TV about these guys going to Navy SEAL training. And I couldn't even see. I wanted to go swimmer, I was afraid of water, all this crap, man. I saw these guys as quick. At the very end, it says 22 guys. His commanding officers up there. He gives this great speech. I started visualizing me being the 23rd guy, sitting there with these guys. I said, man, I can feel that. That would change my life. Love, victory. I went to win. I beat somebody else. It wasn't about that. I just wanted to go the distance. Everything in my life was something that hard to quit. I didn't work hard to do, so I quit. Like, man, if I could just go that distance, that extra mile, just go, just to finish. I want to finish. I want to feel victory. And victory for me wasn't winning, it was just finishing. So I said, you know what? I can feel like these guys feel it. It would change my life. And literally, I started feeling victory just by putting myself in the battle. I started realizing, man, just by going to war with myself every day and putting these challenges and these goals, these obstacles, these insurmountable obstacles, now you can move from there. If you look at it as not I'm broken, it's not still here. Now fighting, I'm gonna find a way to get through this. Because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. And no one really finds themselves without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. Accountability is something. Being accountable every day for yourself and the people next to you, it's miserable. The more I gain confidence. And then the more I gain confidence, the more I realize, fuck these things, man. These guys can't do what I'm doing right now. I have no coach, had no trainer, had no money. I didn't know how to lose weight. I had no knowledge of what I was doing. I was just working. I was just sacrificing. But I wouldn't have found these tools if I didn't put myself in a very uncomfortable place. And your true self is found in that very uncomfortable zone. I was not always a strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in life to get here today. All I wanted to be
Oh, she did so nice.
man.
Perfect.
In my whole life, I was not that. I was 6'1" and 300 pounds. I walked into his office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black." He said, "I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months." I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter. Thank you. Wake up and you have to give yourself relief. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. With every obstacle, I look at it as friction now. Without friction, there is no growth. You have to have friction in your life to grow. So I start looking at all these different things versus what was me mentality. Like, oh my God, look at my life. So, I come from this family. I'm being beaten. I'm being abused mentally, physically. I started looking at it as a perfect trial ground. So I flip it upside down. I said, okay, I'm suffering tremendously, mentally. use this to your advantage versus your disadvantage. So that's what I did. Versus looking at it as, oh my God, what was me? What got me? Because, okay, hang on a second. If I can overcome this,
Just give me
if I can
a
find some power in this, some way to get through this, that right there would be the fuel for the rest of my life. And so I found great strength in suffering. It showed me even more of what we have as humans. If we're willing to go there and willing to push that extra step. Dude, man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I asked myself one question. Can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. A lot of people can take one more step and they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You can answer that question and have to take the first step. But I can always take one more step, but choose not to, that's on me. I gotta look at that. There's a lot of people in graves who have lived 100 years and have never started their real journey. Your real journey starts when you go outside that box and you start climbing mountains. You start climbing mountains. And it goes on, and it goes on. And just when you get ready to quit, you crest that final mountain, you get down and you look, and there you are. But you cannot find your peace you're looking for in yourself until you've overcome yourself.
It seems like, especially with confidence, right, and self-esteem, there's a relationship between confidence and competence. So what you're looking to do is try and have what you believe that you can do be ahead of what you can do. Now, you're not looking for it to be delusional. You don't need to be able to believe that you can do something like fly, right? But you need to have a relationship between the two. But what people are asking for is for that confidence to be without having to be competent at any time to begin. And that's just delusion. It's fantasy.
I believe belief is like, there's an after school special belief where the mom says, believe in yourself, and that's all great. But there's also a built belief. And the built belief is one, like for me, I came from a bad place. How I build belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. So that's proof positive that I can. So it correlates. And that's how this piece of shit kid I once thought it was. Built belief by saying, I was in pre-heavens. I went to Ranger School. I tried out for this.
Undeniable slack of proof.
That is proof. So whatever you think you can't. Confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It can't like, hey, I'm gonna knock that shit out. You gotta look over here and say, I can knock that shit out. Because a lot of people will say, when you wake up in the morning, pound your chest. You know, look at yourself in the mirror and do all this bullshit. I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume. The things I know, I've done. Real hard work. The real calluses on my mind. The real calluses on my hands. That's it. You don't need to pound your chest anymore if you have it's belief and it's built on what you put in to yourself. I came from a small town in Indiana where there was
Someone's already gonna be hanging, so not smooth.
Right? Keep that up.
a lot of people
That's
that
negative, that shit.
Certain bar
town
owners.
of 8,000 people.
Turn that shit up.
It's like we have a local grant, Great Day. You know what? I want to go get Great Day, get a house next to my mom. That's what you want. So many of us come from these small places in life that we're not willing to think outside only what we see. Our mind works in such a small compartment. And one thing I was able to do was to dream. But I was able to dream outside those four walls of that small town. Until you're able to really put yourself into that dream, but don't make dreams your master, that's where you truly become what you're destined to become. A lot of people sit back and dream about being a sports figure, or dream about being a SEAL, or dream about being an astronaut. And all it is a motherfucking dream. They don't put the work behind the dream. When you become a master of your fucking dream, is when you say, I want to go be a Navy SEAL. thing I thought about, and the dream was not gone. The dream goes away, and the mind is the details and the acts come up. That's when you become the master of your dream.
Ryan Holiday says, talking about the thing, doing the thing, vie for the same resources, allocate yours appropriately.
That's it.
That's the way it works as well. That's the way that the brain works. You can actually get these kicks of dopamine by telling your friends, I'm going to be an Navy SEAL, I'm going to start training next week, it's going to be great, I'm going to feel like this.
It feels good. It feels good to talk about that shit, man. It actually makes you feel good, makes you feel proud, all that shit. And guess what happens? That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. to train. I don't want to be a SEAL today. I don't want to be whatever today. I'll start tomorrow. And that's the usual pattern of people's lives. That's why I talk about clearing out the mind. Until you really want to do something, you're always going to be a talker. You're always going to run your mouth. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? That is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I can give. So the reason I give every day, even though there's no race, there's no school, there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
But when do you go to? You wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shitty shorts, whatever it is that's the issue.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch, your missus says stay in bed, it's comfy, it's cozy, you've got work later on, you had an argument last night, you're slightly hungover.
God, I know every motherfucker and you do know. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people like that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy, what you just said. That brings joy in my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study anymore. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people don't. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. A lot of people wonder, how did you become this? How did you become so lonely? How did you do a podcast now when you were this kid? You were doing things. You followed me. And now this is what happens. This is on the other side of overcoming. You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All the things you once cowered from, you're afraid of, and you face them eye to eye every day, you now become exactly who you are. You've faced your limits. You were able to hear all your past traumas. When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace. Because you know exactly who you are. And that is where the peace is really found for me.
Talk to me about what it takes to be on one side of the door in Iraq or anywhere, knowing on the other side of the door people who are not afraid of you. They're ready to be coming in, and you still have to have guns, and you still have to breach that door.
That's a great question. That's a very scary situation. When you are on one side of the door and your mind is racing because on the other side of that door, it could be no one, it could be 4 guys or 4 AK-47. That door you're about to open can be booby trapped. So once you open it, boom, your legs are gone. So there's 1,000 things you think about when you're the first guy, second guy, third guy, getting ready to go in a room. And so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the life. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this work to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I'm very lucky that I'm alive. Never thought she ever still run. But when you sign up right now, you say, like a seal, you're the time safe. I may not live. You gotta accept that. And that's the time you have. And that's what makes you work. If you're scared to die, you're dead. I'm also looking at the guys to my left and to my right, realizing that we're together, man. And I have to be strong for them. They gotta be strong for me. A lot of people can be right when you don't see the silver. But when you get to that Lord, when you get on that mission, you're like, wow. All that's without story. You know, you do it honestly. I mean, people say all the time these movies, you really are going to fight the outside. And you can't be found. Because you know what, at least I look at everything like this is something else. I hate the whole airplane. I hate what she's done. I hate what she's done with me. But I did it because I wanted to change myself. Everything I do, I'm not really comfortable with. But choose to go that route, you'll get it. You might as well do the hard work. Because if you choose to do something, you go to the person and get embarrassed, and that's your reputation. Or you can go to the hardest guy you can find to be in that reputation. So my whole thing is, if you're going to choose over there, Iraq or Afghanistan, go to the money. Because they're going to remember you by slowly opening it and people. So if you're going to open it, and you made your mind open it, don't crack it open. Oh, doors open. That's the mind. If you choose to do something, attack it. Because they're going to remember you and not attack you. So I want you to remember, you paid me. There's one thing you can't say about me. I didn't attack you. So that's the guy you have. If you're going to do something, I don't attack you. Because you do it anyway. Who on this earth would still be going back? There's a lot of thought behind a person being a born loser, becoming a winner. That you just wake up and just rocky. You gotta wake up and think about, there's a process to getting better. And that process is never finished. Like a lot of times, if your back is hurting, you can be your back. There may be something else in your body that's making your back hurt. For me, I'm like, man, why can't I get past this hurt? So like I said, I'm always examining myself every day. What is it? Well, there's one thing you haven't examined yet. And it's going back to the beast, going back to the demon. All the times that I was like, I'm not going back. And I went back, and I went back, and I went back, and I went back, and I went back. It showed me even more of what we have as humans. If we're going to go there, if we're going to push that extra step. I'm just going to do what you do. At the end of the day, I asked myself one question. Can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quit. So a lot of people can take one more step and they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You gotta answer that question after the first step. But I can always take one more step and choose not to. That's on me. And I gotta live that. I had just climbed a mental wall that was amazing. And I don't think anybody can take that thing away from me at that point. Because I was all confirmation. So for me, this was the new level. You don't need a lot of things. Sometimes the only thing that kept me with that one step forward was one thing. Let's not quit yet, guys. Let's think about your options. Where are you going to end up if you quit? Where are you going to go? And when I got done with that race, it's the worst pain. I can't even describe the pain of that last 30 miles to anybody. No one, it was very hard. So when it ended, and I'm laying there in the worst pain of my entire life, I'm shaking, I'm jacked up, and all I could think about was, 71 miles was something that I can't even describe to people. And what's amazing about the human body is that it becomes who you are. Like, to think that I can run 200 miles, 240 miles, that becomes like running 50. I never thought that was possible. This is why I'm always pushing that limit, because I know that within pushing these limits, there's always more.
Didn't that set the tone or the rhythm for what you want to try and achieve and feel each time that you're pushing further?
I never wanted to feel this. I never wanted to feel this. But what it did was it showed me what is possible. And that's what set the new stage for me. That's when I realized, oh man, I've really been underachieving my entire life. But it taught me what is possible. It taught me, okay,
We're gonna do
I
49,000.
got check.
Yeah.
About action.
Yeah.
Action means less
All I'm saying.
more doing. So that's where I've been. It only takes 1 second to lose the whole thing. So the 1 second decision is just that. You're in a situation where life is sucking. Let's say you're in extreme roadblock and your life is flashing before your eyes. Every time that wave goes over your head, your thought process is, I gotta get this water. And you're in hell week. And you're hour 1 of 130 hours. It's called I can't be going this long. And then this is that 1 second decision comes in. You forgot every reason why you wanted to do it. You don't care about seals. You don't care about any of this. You don't care about fighting for your country. All you want to do is go back home. You want you may want something to eat. All those things will come from there. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, we all think about quitting. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. Most people fail at that 1 second. So what happens, what I do, I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down because your brain wants to get back out. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. And I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds. And I have to learn to control this. Because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL. I will not be a doctor. I will not be a lawyer. I will not be whatever it is. So that's how important that 1 second decision is. It's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say, you, I want this. There's no way to think out here. You can't just always be, head down and stand. You gotta learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights, these battles, you gotta be your own coach. You gotta be your own motivator. Because there's a lot of people in the world who don't want to see you make it because they think you can take a piece of their pie. But I've learned to study people before I react. Because there's no successful person in the world who's in a good headspace that's going to ever attack anyone in that kind of manner. There's always going to be something wrong. So you got to always dive a little deeper before you get your feelings hurt. Take time. Take 1 second to pull back and study it. Because most people who are in places, they don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't try to destroy you. They actually will try to build you up versus destroy who you are as a person. So that's what I'm at in life, is most people who do that are in a very dark place. As you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique everything you do. And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are. And all the critiquing comes from people who are really at a low level of life. This is sad. But what we do, people who are on the upper level, feeling the haters at the lower level, like I probably a kid right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything in your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. So I'm going to continue making you question yourself by coming out here and being more successful. So what happens is, there's days where I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do this today. They're like, oh, hang on. So I listen to that while I run, or sometimes I in the house. It's half comical, it's half inspiring. I'm actually inspired by it. Because I know I'm going to get hit. There's a part to get hit with. And that is why these things are important. You have to wake up and you have to give yourself. You have to give yourself confidence. It starts with that run. Belief is like, there's an after school special belief where the mom says, believe in yourself, and that's all great. But there's also a guilt belief. What I guilt belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. So that's proof positive that I can.
You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt.
Yes, because a lot of people, is when you wake up in the morning, pound your chest. Look at yourself in the mirror and you're honest and build it. I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume. The things I know I've accomplished, the things I know I've done, real hard work, real calluses on my mind, real calluses on my hands. That's it. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It's a, I can buy that shit out. Instead of the path of least resistance, I started choosing the path of most resistance to prepare myself for the journey that's in my way. And you realize you can outwork anything. Now, how bad that was? It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you do later. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel like it's gonna be a false reality. And the second time it gives you that challenge, all you gotta do is go back to what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot. What gave me confidence was spending years and teaching
Good? Yeah.
trying